Greetings, everyone. Before I talk about the upcoming new moon on November 13th, I want to express my gratitude to all of you who joined in and supported the meditation and healing ceremony that we did in the Great Pyramid in Egypt on the night of the lunar eclipse, October 28th. The group that I was with was actually in the King's Chamber at the time of the maximum partial lunar eclipse. And we were doing ceremony together. We were toning with your energy and your support. We were sending out healing energy around the globe to activate the energy of love and light and healing to go wherever it was needed around the earth. This is an intense time that we're in, and it was profound to be in that pyramid, feeling the energy emanating out, activated by the earth energy lines, activated and in alignment with the energies of the sky. The King's Chamber is an extraordinary place, and it was a place for ceremony, for healing, for initiation. As you enter the King's Chamber after crawling through a tunnel, you are in this acoustical chamber, which is extraordinary when you're toning or singing and activating the energies that are there in the pyramid. The only object in that space is a sarcophagus, a rose quartz sarcophagus to the side. And there are two star shafts. One is in alignment with a star in Orion's belt. The other with Alpha Draconis, a star that was a circumpolar star close to the celestial pole star at the time the pyramid was built. So it's aligned with the energy of the stars. It's right on an intersection of two major earth ley lines. The Great Pyramid is really there to connect with the core of the earth and activate energies that are supporting us in coming into higher consciousness in this time and healing and being in our process of transformation. So as we did our ceremony in the King's Chamber, we honored our own experience of this time of death rebirth, and then gathered with you and your energy to support the transformation that's happening on the earth, to support all of us in moving into higher consciousness, into healing and moving beyond the trauma and violence and war and destruction that's going on around the globe, into healing, transformation, into the energy of love and light and higher consciousness. So again, thank you for your support and your involvement in being a part of that powerful meditation and ceremony. Let's talk now about the upcoming new moon. And I think it's significant that it is the lunar cycle following this eclipse cycle that culminated in that partial lunar eclipse on October 28th. And if you remember, the meaning of that eclipse was, how do we build bridges across the great divide to end the sense of separation and to be agents of hope and healing in the world? Now, as we move into this new lunar cycle, I want to show you how profound the energy of Mars is in this time of the new moon and how we can work with that. Let me show you the chart. So at the time of this new moon, the sun and moon will be at 20 degrees of Scorpio, conjunct Mars at 22 degrees of Scorpio. Now, at the time of that lunar eclipse, Mars had just moved into conjunction with the sun. And now it is in conjunction with both the sun and moon as we move into this new lunar cycle. And it's profound that the energies of the sun, moon, and Mars are all in Scorpio, Remember that Mars is the ruler of Scorpio. It's the traditional ruler of Scorpio, with Pluto being the modern ruler of Scorpio. And as Mars is conjunct the sun and moon, it's completing one of its synoded cycles with the sun and about to begin a new one. Mars will be fully conjunct the sun November 18th to begin a new approximately 2-year cycle where Mars is conjunct the sun, and then it moves through its cycle until it comes to opposition with the sun, which will be January 16th, 2025, and then it will complete its full synoded cycle with the sun, journeying back into conjunction with the sun in a little over 2 years. That will be January 9th, 2026. So as Mars is beginning its new cycle with the sun, think about how Mars relates to the hero's journey. It is about how are we working with our sense of will? How are we making decisions? How are we taking action? How are we working with that energy of the third chakra, our solar plexus, our sense of identity, to express ourselves in the world? Mars in Scorpio is calling us to look at how we are working that process of the expression of our will, our actions from a deep place. Mars in Scorpio is about transformation. It is about diving deep into the shadow aspects of ourselves to really understand what is driving our decisions and our behavior and our actions. It's extraordinary when you think that 90% of our behavior is not coming from conscious choices, but coming from our unconscious process. Scorpio, what's hidden beneath the surface, what's below our conscious awareness. So this is a time, as we're moving into this new moon, to honor that you are being called to dive deep into your own inner process, to really attune to where are your decisions and actions coming from. As Mars is opposite Uranus, and Uranus is opposite this whole new moon configuration, moon, sun, Mars, Uranus is trying to give us clarity, to cut through our illusions, to reveal what needs to be revealed. It is guiding us to see what we have held in the shadow aspects of ourselves, to see the ways in which our actions may be coming from past trauma or from unconscious issues, or ways in which we're acting out of our sense of being triggered or old wounds, rather than coming from a deeper alignment with our true selves. Remember that the higher octave of Mars is the energy of Pluto. So when we're truly in alignment with our will, coming from that alignment with our true self and our soul self, we are then in alignment with divine will, Pluto, with cosmic consciousness. So I see this energy of this new moon as guiding us and coming back into alignment. One of the things that I find profound about journeying in Egypt and visiting ancient sacred sites around the globe is that those ancient cultures, and I'm talking about pre-Diluvian cultures dating back 12,000 years, they understood the meaning of coming into right alignment. They understood that we are a unique expression of cosmic consciousness, but to be in our true selves, we need to be in alignment with the energies of the earth and sky. We need to come into harmony with the symphony of the spheres. What's happened in the last 5,000 years is we've gotten caught up in an identification with ego and an illusion of our own individual sense of control. And then Mars becomes my expression of my will for my own purposes, for my self-gain, for my self-aggrandizement. And part of what we're seeing that's out of balance in the world right now is that over-identification with ego and that power over predator kind of paradigm, dominator paradigm that we see in this patriarchal period of the last 5,000 years. Then Mars becomes about power over, domination, and control. It's no longer about how am I in right alignment and right relationship with myself, with others, with all that is. So I see this new moon as calling us to dive deep into a transformation of how we're working our sense of self, our sense of ego, and how we are working with that sense of our will, our self-expression, assertion of our own will in the world. The shadow aspect of this opposition with Uranus is that we may see eruptions of anger, violence, increasing acceleration of the wars going on in the world. We may see financial crises with Uranus in Taurus opposite Mars. This can create a conflict, a tension, a struggle. And I think it's a conflict between the Uranian energy trying to set us free from the paradigms of the past and guide us in the new directions, and the shadow aspect of Mars in Scorpio, which can be a determination with that fixed energy of Scorpio to cling to power and to attempt to exert even more intensely that paradigm of power over, of control, of domination that can result in violence, destruction, and abuse of power. So know that we're in turbulent times, and I think we're seeing this polarization in the world right now as we're seeing two very different timelines unfolding. Remember that we continue to be in this profound square with Pluto squaring the lunar nodes, South Node in Libra, North Node in Aries, that will continue through the end of the year. And this is, as I've talked about before, a karmic choice point for us individually and collectively. Are we choosing to come back into balance, Libra, right relationship, to be moving in new creative directions, North Node in Aries, conjunct Erisina? Are we making those choices to move into the new paradigms of the Aquarian age, to move into higher consciousness, to be honoring Pluto and Capricorn, the deconstruction of the paradigms of the past that are so out of balance, to move with Pluto as it goes into Aquarius in January of 2024 and then continues through September of 2024. It will continue back and forth in Capricorn until it fully goes into Aquarius November of 2024. But Pluto is guiding us to transform the systems and structures of our lives individually and collectively to come back into balance. And this new moon is saying, be in that transformational process. Look at what you need to clear, what you need to release, what you need to transform within yourself in order to bring your actions, your will, your individual self-expression into alignment with your soul self, which is in alignment with the earth and sky and cosmic consciousness. Let me say a little bit more of what I mean by that. It was fascinating as we journeyed in Egypt, and it was great to be in the experience with the group that we were journeying with, and we visited these different sacred temple sites along the Nile and worked with the energy of the different chakras as we worked with the energies of those different temples, culminating then in the ceremony in the Great Pyramid at the time of the lunar eclipse and the activation of our sixth and seventh chakras. But what's extraordinary when you see the very ancient civilization of Egypt, the energies of that culture that you see in the more ancient sites dating back 12,000 years ago was very much about the collective determination to honor that we are soul selves having a human experience, and that to be in the right, true expression of our will, of our actions, of our decisions, we need to be in alignment with the energies of all that is, to remember that we're a part of the oneness of all that is. So you see in sites like the Great Pyramid, this exquisite alignment with the earth energies, the energies of the sky, to be supporting us as energy bodies, energy beings, being in that right alignment. Then we're living from that higher spiritual consciousness in our self-expression. Remember, if our human capacity with our consciousness is only able to operate out of 5 or 10% of our cognitive conscious awareness, and the rest is coming from our unconscious self, then to move into higher consciousness, we need to align our energy bodies with the energies of the earth and sky so that they are aligning us and moving through us and guiding us to be acting in ways that are in right harmony, right relationship, right balance. Part of the power of shamanic work, part of the power of ceremony is that it transforms us and aligns us beneath our cognitive conscious awareness. We have over-idealized our minds in this last 5,000 years. We've over-idealized our left brain ways of thinking, our analytical minds. It's important for us as we're moving into the Aquarian age to come back into balance with right brain ways of thinking, with our intuition, with our empathy, with our capacity to remember we're part of the oneness. That part of our brains is able to align with the energies of all that is from that more intuitive, empathic place, rather than from an analytical, cognitive choice or control, or coming from ego. This is part of the shift that we need to be in. So as we're working with this new moon, it's calling us into transformation about our sense of self and where we come from in the decisions that we make and how we express our will, our actions. So it's guiding us in honoring more fully our right brain ways of knowing, our intuitive awareness of our interconnectedness with all that is, and to come from the heart. Uranus opposite Mars is saying, wake up, remember who you are, see through the illusions of your false sense of self-control, your illusion of power and ability to control your life. Come back into right alignment and then feel the energies of cosmic consciousness, of love, of light, of divine will flowing through you, acting through you, operating from a place of love and light and higher consciousness. As we were toning in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid, that's what we experienced. The energies of the earth and sky and stars flowing through us, singing through us, changing us, transforming us, allowing that love and light and healing energy not to come from us as individual selves, but to come through us, to emanate out from that pyramid and flow out around the globe. We are capable of so much beyond our conscious awareness. if we come back into right alignment. Remember, in the Mars cycle, Mars starts in its conjunction with the sun, which is where we are at the time of this new moon, November 13th. It will actually be exactly conjunct the sun on November 18th. Then it moves in its cycle in relationship with the sun until it comes into full opposition with the sun. Let me show you that chart. So that Mars will be fully opposite the sun in this synodic cycle on January 16th, 2025, and Mars will be in Cancer opposite the sun at that time and in an out of sign opposition with Pluto. Mars, when it comes into that full opposition, will be in the sign of Cancer. So Mars in its journey with the sun is the hero's journey. Mars starts with the conjunction with the sun and sets out on that journey of exploration, of discovery, of self-expression. And it moves through challenges, it moves through its adventure. It ultimately comes to the opposition with the sun, which is when Mars is at its brightest. And this is the moment in the hero's journey when we realize, oh, this isn't a journey of my own separate sense of self and self-expression. I've been on this hero's journey of discovery to come back into connection with Source, with the sun, to realize the gifts of what I've learned in my own exploration and my own journey and my own experiences, to bring that understanding, that knowledge, that wisdom back into connection with the community, back into connection with Source, the sun. So the hero's journey is ultimately about how are we integrating our own self-expression and our own exertion of our will with that deeper meaning and purpose that we are here to be in our own unique experience, adventure, self-expression, hero's journey, to come into the light of consciousness when the Mars is at its brightest, realizing, oh, this is a journey of coming into higher consciousness. This is a journey that is about my deep connection with Source. And then how do I integrate that to bring that knowledge, understanding into service, into right relationship with others, as part of the community, as part of my interconnectedness with all that is, as part of my alignment with Source. This is the hero's journey. This is the Mars journey. This is how we bring our will, our actions, our decisions, our behavior in alignment with our soul selves, with our deeper purpose, with our alignment with higher consciousness, and with the energies of the earth and sky. As you experience this new moon with Mars conjunct the sun and moon, remember that Mars disappears when it's in conjunction with the sun. It's merging with the light of the sun. That is the time when it can be cleansed and transformed to launch on this new adventure. And I would encourage you to go outside at the time of this new moon, preferably at the time of sunrise, and honor the energy of the sun that's merging with the new moon and Mars at the time of that powerful new moon conjunction. And you might use the prayer that I often use when I honor the time of sunrise, and honor the sun, and through the sun align with Source, divine love and light and wisdom. I go out and I honor the sun, and through the sun align with Source, with divine love and light and wisdom. Allow yourself at the time of that new moon to let your will, your ego, your Mars expression align with the love and light and higher consciousness and energy of the sun that is beaming down to us now, the energy of higher consciousness. These cosmic rays are coming through the sun to activate us in higher consciousness, to support us in this time of transformation. So we're being supported in how to clear and release the patterns from the past, how to dive deeply into those ways we're out of balance with our will, with the expression of our Mars energy, to see what's been in the shadows, to allow Uranus to bring us clarity, to set us free from patterns that we need to release, to come back into right alignment with our soul selves, with the energies of the earth and sky and oneness of all that is. Let me show you a few other aspects that are important in this new moon. I've been talking about this Uranus opposition with Mars, but it's also amazing that the other two transpersonal planets are also in aspect with this new moon and with Mars. Neptune is trining the new moon, Sun, Moon, and Mars. Pluto is sextiling them. So we've got the energies of these three transpersonal planets supporting us in being in this powerful time of transformation. Pluto supporting us in releasing the systems and structures from the past that we need to let die for there to be this new birth into the Aquarian paradigms. And Neptune in Pisces is guiding us to dissolve that sense of ego that keeps us in separation, keeps us in division, keeps us disconnected from each other and cosmic consciousness, and is guiding us into a deeper connection with spirit, with higher consciousness, with compassion, supporting us to act from the heart with compassion, not from our will, from a place of ego, power over, domination, and control. If you look at the meaning of the Sabian symbols for Mars and this new moon, the meaning of the degree of where Mars is at 22 degrees of Scorpio is about being in a process of metamorphosis, to move from operating from lower instincts, again, from that unconscious reactivity or ways in which our behavior is shaped by our unconscious, by the trauma from the past. We're being guided to move through this time of transformation and metamorphosis into higher consciousness and into a deep connection with our relationship with the energies of the earth. That's the meaning of the Sabian symbol, and it's profound that Mars is conjunct Ceres, that asteroid that has to do with our deep connection with the earth at the time of this new moon. Ceres is supporting us in realizing to be in right alignment with our will, with Mars, we need to be in right relationship with the energies of the earth and how we're in relationship with the resources of the earth, with each other, with all of the life forms around us. The meaning of the degree of the new moon at 20 degrees of Scorpio is about how do we choose to make decisions from our true self rather than from conformity or subservience to the cultural expectations or pressures around us. Think about that. How are we making decisions from our true selves, from our alignment with our soul selves, from our higher consciousness, rather than from reactivity or being controlled by the cultural, societal expectations and pressures around us? That theme is echoed in the Uranus opposition. Break free from illusion. Break out of conventional paradigms that are out of balance, that are out of alignment, that are operating from illusion, that are operating from power over. So Uranus in this opposition is saying, wake up, see through illusion, see through the out of balance Mars expression that's going on in the world right now, and the ways in which those paradigms from the past are ramping up in such an extreme way for control, to be resisting the profound transformation that we are in. So a key theme at the time of this new moon is don't get caught in fear, don't get caught in reactivity, or in a sense of subservience to the events playing out around us. Really dive deep into your own inner knowing, Scorpio, your own inner truth. Allow Uranus to bring you this clarity to see through illusion, to open to the energies of the earth and sky, bringing you into alignment with higher consciousness so that your choices and decisions and actions are coming from that higher consciousness and energy of love and light and right relationship with yourself, with others, with the earth, with all that is. Let me now show you where this new moon is in the sky at the time of this new moon. So while the sun and moon are at 20 degrees of Scorpio in the tropical zodiac chart, the actual placement of the sun and moon in the stars in the sky are here in the stars of Libra. And remember that Mars is conjunct the sun and moon. So Mars, the sun, and moon are all right here in the fulcrum in the stars of Libra. Remember, the stars of Libra are the scales, and they relate to that archetypal understanding of Ma'at, that ancient Egyptian principle of everything is meant to be in right harmony, right balance with everything else. And remember, in the story of Ma'at, at the time of death, our heart is placed on one side of the scale and a feather on the other. And if our heart is as light as a feather, if we're not weighed down by the poor choices that we've made and ways that we've caused harm and lived in out of balance ways in relationship with each other, with the earth, with all that is, if our heart is as light as a feather, then we get to move into those other realms. If our heart is heavy from ways that we've been out of balance, then we have to rework that and work through our own process of growth and evolution. So this new moon is saying, are you in balance? Is your heart heavy? Are you weighed down with ways that you are, Mars and Scorpio, acting out of reactivity, out of trauma, acting out in ways that are destructive, that are harmful to yourself, to others? Or are you in balance? And it's supporting us in being in a process of healing and transformation. And I also think it's significant that Mercury is here in the stars of Scorpius, close to Antares, guiding us in also transforming our thoughts and how we see our decisions and how we're taking action and making choices, again, to support us in being in this deeper process of transformation, to come from the heart, not from our minds, to come from alignment with our soul selves, not from our egos, to be coming back into balance, coming back into right harmony. So this is a very powerful new moon, and I think these energies of the ending of 2023 are particularly intense, particularly transformational, because the energies of the earth and sky are guiding us through this karmic choice point, Pluto square the lunar nodes, saying this is the time to choose which timeline you want to be on. Which trajectory are you on? And we really have the opportunity to choose whether we want to be on the path of fear, reactivity, falling prey to the paradigms of power over that are really ramping up right now around the globe in a destructive way, with war, with violence, with brutality. We're seeing the darkest sides of the Mars expression operating in the world right now. The shadow side of Mars in Scorpio: violence, brutality, power over, inhumanity, disregard for destruction of the earth, disregard for the destruction of human life, trauma being perpetuated around the globe. This lunar cycle is saying it is time to transform that, clear that, heal that, stop that power over paradigm, let go of the abuse of power, come from a deeper place of transformation that is coming from alignment with that higher consciousness. We can choose the timeline that is about transformation and being on this trajectory into the Aquarian paradigms that are about justice, truth, collaboration, compassion, love, being in right relationship with each other and all that is. This is the choice point that we're in. And we can energize one path or the other. What will make the critical difference for humanity is our own individual choices. We need to not look for others outside of us or powers outside of us to rectify what's out of balance on the planet. We need to come into balance, come into right alignment. Then we're energizing that for ourselves and for the collective consciousness. We can, with the energies of this lunar cycle, this new moon, choose to align our will with the will of cosmic consciousness, to align our energy, our actions, our decisions with higher consciousness, with the energy of love and light and healing, to be agents of healing and hope in the world in this time. We can support each other in that, and we can hold with compassion that we're each in our own profound inner healing journeys during this time, because we are shedding what we need to shed to be able to come into that right alignment, to allow our will to be in right balance, right harmony, not coming from a place of ego, but coming from alignment with our soul selves, and to be in alignment with cosmic consciousness. So hold with compassion that this new moon may be a turbulent time for you also. Sun and Moon and Mars in Scorpio. Pay attention to what activates you. Pay attention to what may trigger you, or trigger an inner conflict, or trigger anger or wounds from the past. That's helping you to bring into awareness Uranus opposite Mars and the Sun and Moon. It's helping you to get clarity about the patterns that you need to release and what you need to heal in order to move into more alignment with your deeper self, with your true self. So hold that with compassion, but choose to not act out of those feelings, out of that inner conflict, or out of that experience of being triggered. If you feel that intensity, take time to meditate, take time to journal, give yourself space to look at what's getting activated for you, and honor that it's coming into your awareness to be healed, to be in this transformational process. I encourage you to look at where this new moon in conjunction with Mars falls in your chart. That may be where a lot's getting stirred up for you, where that energy of transformation will be most active for you. What house does that fall in? What area of life is getting activated for you? And also stay very aware of where in your chart Pluto is and those lunar nodes. Pluto squaring the lunar nodes, South Node in Libra, North Node in Aries. Where do they fall in your chart? What areas of your life are you being guided to be in that karmic choice point about how you let go of the patterns of the past to come back into balance and right relationship, to move in new directions with your will, your action, your self-expression, your ways of being? This is a profound time of transition and transformation. And what's beautiful is we're being supported. Again, when so much of us is about being these energy beings, not about coming from control from the analytical mind, but needing to live from the heart and from our connection with our soul selves, when we realize that we are these spiritual energy beings, beings of light, then we can trust as we connect and open to the energies of the earth that are getting increasingly activated right now by the cosmic energies coming in, as we connect to the energies of the stars and the sky and the sun, we are being transformed. We are being guided through this metamorphosis to move from operating from a lower level of vibration into higher consciousness. We are being supported and carried by these energies of the earth and sky when we open to them and let go of our false sense of control and our sense that we need to operate from ego. When we come back into right alignment, then our will is coming from that deeper, true part of ourselves and from alignment with our soul selves. It's coming from alignment with our true purpose. And then our self-expression is our unique creative expression of our spark of divinity, our unique expression of cosmic consciousness that we bring out in service to the whole, to each other. Again, I want to thank this community for the ways we're supporting each other in this time of transition and transformation. And again, thank you for so many of you who were a part of that meditation time in the Great Pyramid. These are extraordinary times that we're in, and the energies of transformation are guiding us into healing, into higher consciousness, into the paradigms of the Aquarian age, and this timeline that is about the profound way we can move in an accelerated process into new ways of being, into a new earth that is characterized by love, light, healing, right relationship, right balance, right expression of the will and that Mars energy that is about alignment with Source. Thank you, and blessings to you as you experience this new moon and move through this next phase of this transformational process that we're in. Blessed be.